Hello and welcome. Today I have another ink sample review for you. This is by Sailor and it is Ink Studio 741, and I got this from Goulet Pens. If I can find this, I will leave a link for you down below. And we're going to do a swatch real quick. And these Ink Studios, the ones with the numbers after them, so it just says, Ink Studio, and then usually it's a 3-digit number. These inks are really nice. I've come to really like them because they're just, you look at them and you think, oh, it's just going to be a plain color or whatever, but they're surprising. And I'm not sure why they don't give them different names other than just a number, but it doesn't seem to matter. They're all so pretty. And of all the ones that I've tried, it hasn't been too many. I don't have a lot of these yet, but every one that I've tried has been really, really, really pretty. So maybe I've just been picking all the good ones. All right, I'm trying to put down more ink there. Let me write the name. This is a beautiful blue. There we go. $7.41. This is by Sailor. Okay. All right, so here's how that looks so far. And I'm going to go ahead and set this under a fan to dry. I'll be right back. All right, and I'm back. We're going to try this on some copy paper next. And I always like to try this on copy paper or some cheap paper just in case. Sometimes that's all you have and you just want to know if the ink will behave itself. I'm going to call this 741. This is copy paper. There we go. That's how it looks so far. Really pretty blue. I'm going to set that aside and we'll go to the HP 32 paper, and this is just like copy paper, but it has a nicer finish on it, and so a lot of times the ink will show off different properties on this paper. And sometimes on these inks I order the samples, and then it takes me a while to do the reviews, and so I might forget why I chose that color, and I think this is one of them. Because I typically don't pick out a blue ink unless it has some kind of property like shading or something. I like blue, but it seems like there's a lot of basic blue inks, but it's doing something. Okay, I'm going to set that aside and let it dry. There's definitely going to be something about this ink because on that HP 32 paper I saw something. Alright, this is Tomoe River paper. And if there's a color that you would like to see me review, leave a comment, and if I have the ink or if I can get it, then we'll make a video. Alright, 741, and this is Tomoe River. Yeah, there's definitely something going on with this ink. It is not just a plain blue, as I suspected. Unless one is requested, I probably won't get just plain colors, or if I'm trying to complete a collection. Unfortunately, ink has become like Pokemon, and you've got to catch them all to... Alright, there we go. Alright, what I'm going to do real quick is check the swatch and see if that's dry. I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. So, I was right. This blue does have something special about it. So, on copy paper, it does just look blue, but there's definitely a tiny bit of shading. You can kind of see it here, around the edge here, and in some of the places in the writing where the ink went down heavier. Even on the copy paper, there's a tiny bit of shading. It's very pretty. And then when you compare it to the HP 32, you see this is, of course, a little bit richer in color. The shading is more obvious on this, but up in here on the top part of the loops here, it almost looks like what I thought might have been a tiny bit of sheen or something, but I think that's just the shading. And it's just so pretty. This is a really nice blue that has a lot of depth to it. And then look at this on the Tomoe River. It doesn't even look like the same ink. The shading is just completely crazy on this. And you can see it very clearly in the writing. So this is an ink that does very, very well on the Tomoe River. And it does okay on the other two. But on the Tomoe River, it just really kind of comes to life. This is a beautiful ink. And this is what I mean by these. They just give the ink a number instead of a name. And you're like, well, what's that like? You know, you have no reference point. But and sometimes the swatches don't really show off the ink properties at all. So that's a very pretty blue. And then here is how the swatch card came out. Look how beautiful that is. It has such a nice depth of color. It's like the ocean, like the really deep ocean. And in the writing here, you see that shading came out so pretty. So this is a beautiful blue. This has a lot going on. It's just, I know it's just blue, but it's not just blue. And right here where the shading is, you can see on the edge, there is a tiny, tiny amount of sheen that I hope the camera picks up. But yeah, this is a beautiful ink, a beautiful shade of blue. So if you liked this video, if it was helpful to you at all, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you can see more. And thank you so much for watching. You have a great day.